right, welcome to a very special edition of the Tundra podcast. This episode is near and dear to our hearts because we have chosen Kids Cancer Care Foundation to be our charity of choice, and we have been partnered with them for years. We cannot speak more highly of the team and all of the incredible work that everyone at Kids Cancer Care Foundation is doing in our communities. And we have none other than the driving force, the powerhouse herself, Christine McIver, founder and CEO of Kids Cancer Care Foundation. Christine, thank you so much for taking time today to join us and talk about the good stuff that you and your team have going on.
Oh, Eric, I am thrilled to be here. It's great to be part of your podcast and to just tell everybody how incredibly passionate I am, we all are, about Kids Cancer Care Foundation. We like to think of ourselves as a force of nature, born of mama bears and papa bears and all the parents and healthcare professionals that help children survive and thrive in body, mind, and spirit. And that's what we're doing here today and have been for, well over 25 years. We just want children to survive childhood cancer and then go on and take on the world, be the thrivers and survivors of tomorrow. Make sure that they are going to just turn the world on edge after they get through this horrible diagnosis and journey and make that journey just as positive and as rewarding and prosperous as we possibly can.
Unbelievable. And I've got to admit, before joining Tundra, I had not heard of Kids Cancer Care Foundation. I didn't know you guys existed. And then when I learned what you are all about, it blew my mind. Could you maybe take it from the top? And some of our listeners might have not heard of Kids Cancer Care Foundation either.
Well, you bet, Eric. We've been here since October 1994, started it in the basement of my home many years ago, and it was in response to a very personal reason, of course. My son Derek was diagnosed on Christmas Eve, 1986. There were very few, if any, research programs, anything for children with cancer. It's such a long journey for any child diagnosed with cancer, and their parents are really just up against the wall in terms of supporting their child through through this disease. And we really wanted to make sure that children with cancer, first of all, were cured. Very most important thing. And then that they had the programs and services to get them through this terrible journey. We wanted to make this terrible journey one that many of them reflect back on and say, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I learned so much. I'm a better person because of it. I'm almost glad I got childhood cancer. And honestly, they do say that. It's quite remarkable. So our very first program that we entered in on was, of course, Cancer Camp. And today we have beautiful Camp Kendall out in Water Valley that we just love to look after that facility. And the best part of all is it just has the most amazing kids come year-round for these programs and services that we provide there. But that's not all we do. That was our very first program. The next things that we added on were research and in-hospital programs because we knew that kids with cancer first needed to survive their illness. They needed to get through it in a hospital setting that was very supportive and helped them through anything that they needed to do while they were there. We needed the nurses and doctors to be well supported, well educated, and comfortable in what they're doing. And then we added on outreach programs, all of our recreational and our therapeutic programs, which are just amazing. And there's probably makes up some of our biggest pivots that we've done since the pandemic, was the way that we really wanted to reach children throughout the entire province, and now we can because we're online and everything we do. We're making sure that they're supported through anxious moments. And believe me, if you think you've been anxious through COVID, imagine being a child with cancer. They have no way of knowing or understanding what's going on. with being isolated anyways, and then add COVID on top of it, and it becomes just this incredibly difficult situation. So we want to make sure that they get through that. We want to make sure that they're well educated. So we do that through our tutoring system, our programs for education support, and then their scholarships to get post-secondary education. We make sure that they keep moving and that they're healthy in their body. We want to make sure that they've got good exercise programs, that what the chemotherapy, the radiation is trying to take away from them through those treatments, that they're able to survive and thrive through this. So they got to keep moving. They got to keep out exercising. It's kind of what we do at Camp Kindle too. We let them go up the high ropes. They're doing some fun stuff in the swimming pool. They're doing skits and, all kinds of skits and fun stuff throughout the day. There's hikes, there's nature learning, and most of all, they're meeting new friends. This is, friends that have gone through the same thing that they're going through. Camp Kindle is quite extraordinary because it also is for children whose parents are going through cancer. And of course, our kids' siblings come to camp as well. So this is quite a remarkable place. When you get Camp Kindle full of kids around a campfire or in their bunks in the dorms at night, sharing what they've gone through, it is absolutely remarkable. So we're kind of like the only organization that does this through the entire world, that we fund research, hospital programs. We provide programs like Camp Kindle, our therapeutic and our recreational programs. This is what gets kids through to the end of their treatment. And even if the unthinkable should happen, and that is, of course, the child passes away because of cancer, they've exhausted options, and that's unfortunately what happens still to 20-25% of our kids, that we look after the parents and the siblings that are survivors, that we get them through with bereavement support as well. So entire cancer care continuum, we make sure that we look after them every step of the way.
Christine, I can't help but feel your passion for this. And I have such an admiration for you because this is not easy. This is not easy for anyone. And I cannot even begin to imagine the heart-wrenching phone call or the heart-wrenching diagnosis that comes to a family and not knowing what is up, what is down, and the services that you provide. I was fortunate enough to speak with a family that has been really leveraging the incredible support systems. And I had no idea there was so much. It's not just research. It's not just allowing kids to be kids at Camp Kindle. It's almost like you keep adding things. As soon as you thought you covered it all, you come out with a new program. How do you, in the face of adversity, especially in this time of lockdowns and COVID and all of this, what keeps you personally going?
Oh, 100%. It's the kids. When we get emails and thank you cards and phone calls from parents and from kids, and just to be able to see them even online now, knowing how well they're reacting to the programs that we're providing and that they're so receptive to it, and it's really essentially their lifeline to the outside world. They need to know that after this pandemic is done, we're still going to be there for them. It's going to look different again, but it's going to be that real important support mechanisms that we've got all along the way. So, you asked, how do we make sure that we're really adding the right programs and services on for our families, and we stay in touch with them. We ask them, we listen to them, and we learn from them, and then we go on to create or change the programs that we currently have. The parent that we had when I was a parent, well, I'm still a parent, but when my son was diagnosed, over 30 years ago, very different today. We find that parents change over different genres, and we really want to make sure that we listen to them and change those programs. So if we let go of a program because it's not being as effective anymore. We add something on that's really going to respond to what these parents need today and to what kids need today, and you know, different things that we learned. I mean, we are so engaged in the psychosocial research around it. We are really the translational to any psychosocial research that's going on. We'll take their learnings, we inform what research they need to do, and then we take it back and we learn from it and we change our programs, and it's just an amazing symbiotic relationship we have with our researchers. While we can't create the chemotherapy or the radiation or any of the protocols, we can change our programs to make sure that they're responsive to what the psychosocial researchers, the psychologists and the social workers and everyone has learned through investigating different ideas that they come up with, and we look at it and say, we can do something about that. That's really where our exercise physiology program came from. It's called PEER. Our education support, it's come from research. We know what else to do with that. And we'll just keep growing and changing as we need to. It's pretty remarkable. We're a small but mighty organization, and you know, listening, learning, and talking with our friends and our colleagues, but most importantly, our families, our researchers. We've got this amazing family, and that's what our families will tell you, that this is a family, one that you've never wanted to belong to, but thank goodness it's there, because when you need it, we're there for you.
So beautiful, because I can just imagine how alone some families must feel when this diagnosis is presented. And cancer isn't something that you automatically associate with childhood. You know, it's not something that's not the first thing that comes to mind. You know, we often, my grandma passed away of cancer. We think of it as a passing disease, sort of end of life. But to have such young kids go through this, and the programs that you provide obviously require resources. And I'm curious, how do you generate funds to fund these programs?
Well, since day one, it was, feet on the ground. I didn't have a clue on how to fundraise, how to write a grant, how to write a fundraising letter, just learned as I went along, and then gathered amazing volunteers around me to help do this. Now we've got this amazing core dedicated volunteers and staff that want to be there, that are working really hard to raise every dollar we spend. So we get very, very little government funding. COVID's been a little different. Everybody's needed a bit more of a hand up, but normally we raise 100% of every dollar earned. And we are very strong stewards of those dollars. We squeeze everyone. I often say that free is one of my very favorite F words, and it really is. I think people are a little afraid when they see me coming, because they know I'm going to ask for something. But I'm not asking for something for me. I'm asking for the kids, and that's the most important thing. I don't look at it as dollars and cents. I look at it as programs and services, and that's what's so vital about that. Whenever we go out and ask for a dollar, ask for a pro bono gift or a gift in kind, it's because we know we can translate that into something amazing, whether it be a camp, whether it be dollars into research, or programs at the bedside, or in the gym, or in the classroom. We can see what it translates into. And that's what's so very, very important about this, is that we need the public support. Hands down, we do not get it any other way. We have to raise it, and by raising it, we have to ask for it. We can't be shy about that. And so that's what Tundra has helped us out a lot with today, and other companies like Tundra and other individuals that shave, cut, and color their hair, come to a gala, ride their bicycle, swing a golf club, or just simply write a check or go online and make a donation. But people are ingenious. They come up with the most incredibly fun, exciting, different ways of fundraising for us. And that's what makes this fundraising. We talk to people every day about what can they do to help. Well, they can just go online and make a donation, or they can come and volunteer and help us out, or they can come up with something within their own employee core that says, look, we want to do something. It's a great way to team build. It's a great way to feel amazing and give back. And just know in your hearts that you are doing something very, very important for a child and many children and their families that have experienced cancer. It's a horrible thing to have to think about, but you know what? It makes us get up every morning. This is what really absolutely turns our crank, that we can do this. I think, my goodness, I mean, it took me losing my oldest son to understand that this is probably the most important calling, certainly for me and for a lot of people, is to be able to facilitate that, to create that avenue for people to do something, to give back. I've seen thousands and thousands of families come through this program. I like to say I go to more weddings now than I do to funerals, but I'm still going to too many funerals. We need that research. We need to make sure these kids are coming through this in the very best way they possibly can. And that's through the programs and services that we're providing. They're going to get cure in the hospital because of the research that we funded, and many other groups as well. But tomorrow, when they're finished their treatment, or even while they're in the middle of treatment, they're going to be coming to camp. They're going to be doing the exercise programs. They're going to be tutored. They're going to be online, knowing and understand what's root and cause of anxieties and ways to alleviate that and get through not just this pandemic. They're still going to have to get through their treatment until the day that they say your child is cured. They're going to have those programs and services that we provide. And we can only do it if we have your help. And that's the help of our community, our friends, our family, our corporate community. I mean, Alberta has been right there for us every step of the way. And we just can't let it down now. In fact, I think it's more relevant than ever that we ask for this help now. And I'm not ever going to be too proud to ask for help. At the beginning of the pandemic, we reverted to going back to good old-fashioned bottle drives. We were out there in dirty, stinking bottles up to our elbows. And, you know, we had nothing but joy in our hearts because we saw lineups of cars coming down the street to our office. People would arrive there with their trunks full of bottles and tears in their eyes, just knowing that they could still do something to help us out. I mean, isn't that remarkable that people would just feel that strongly about it, that they could see that amazing show of support in the community? We need to keep this going. We need this feeling to keep going. We can't let up, especially now. We're so close. We're so close on so many fronts.
I love that. And I love that you allow the community to get creative and come up with some crazy ideas that end up being a lot of fun. I'm curious, of all the wild, unique fundraising concepts, which one has been first, the most successful, and second, the most fun? And if they're both correlated, let me know.
Well, you know, just the bottle drive one, I couldn't imagine that a bottle drive would be this much fun. And it was successful. I think in 2020, we raised $89,000 collecting bottles. But I think too, the ones that companies have come up with, you know, the fun golf tournaments, Tundra, when you did your Candygram, I just thought, oh, it's so heartfelt. It was born of such a nice place that people would say we could do something to make things better. You know, normally Tundra does this amazing stampede party for us, and oh, fingers crossed we get to do that again this year. But if not, we know that there is so many creative and ingenious people out there that are saying, if I can't do this, then by golly, I'm going to do that instead. Or the big question, what if? What if we did this? And I just think that that's the most remarkable place where great ideas are born. What if we tried this? We normally have a big cycle challenge every year, and we're not going to be able to do that this year. But we're going to do it virtually. And it's going to be our cycle challenge by choice. And by choice, I mean, people can say, I'm going to ride with my family. I'm going to collect pledges. I'm going to, either ride from Calgary to Banff Canmore to Banff and back. I know my family, we're going to ride around the entire Rotary Mattamy Greenway. And we're going to do that over 3 days. We're going to do a scavenger hunt along the way. We're going to stay in a couple of hotels along the way. But, my husband and I, we're going to be on our bikes, and my daughter and her husband and new grandson, he's going to be a year old by this time, and he's going to be in the chariot, and we're going to be doing some very fun stuff, 145 kilometers around the city, and we're going to have some fun along the way. And that's the creativity that we want. We want to throw this out to Calgarians, to Albertans, to say, I could do something for children with cancer, and it's as easy as this. Get involved. Look at our webpage. I mean, there's some great ideas already on there. Things that you can say, hey, I could do that. Our wonderful program of, it's called Big Brave, and you can cut, color, or shave your hair. And it's just as easy as saying, yeah, sign me up, make up your own web page, your own pledge page, and put on some funky pictures and say, this is what I'm going to do for children with cancer. So you don't have to shave your head. You can actually just say, I am going to cut a length of hair off, probably donate your hair to children with cancer for wigs, or I'm just going to color it some funky colors. We'll even fit you out with those colors. So there's so many ways to get involved, and talk to the people you work with. There's some really incredibly creative people within, we used to work elbow to elbow with, but you know what? Set up a Teams meeting or a Zoom call and say, let's get creative, let's get funky with stuff like this. We've all, so many of us are still working, we're still well employed, we can still help. You help a little, you help a lot. All you need to do is help, though, because we do need that.
I love that. And it's not just help in the forms of money. There's other ways people can help. Is that right?
You bet. You bet. They can go on our webpage and sign up to be a volunteer. We're still really needing the help of volunteers along the way. You can even have, one of our spokes kids come to your office virtually, hear their story, hear what they're doing to get through their treatment and care. Maybe they've already come through it. You can get them to check in with you and do a little chat. I know we've done Tundra talks before, which are just a ton of fun. But then you get to see and understand and just really feel what a child with cancer or their parents are going through. Sometimes the whole family will come into a virtual call, or when we're all back to the office or back into the community again, we're happy to set that up with you, just so you really get a clear understanding of what it's like to take that journey. It's hard to believe that a child can be born with cancer. And so we have to be there right from that moment or anywhere along the age that they're diagnosed, right up until the time that they graduate from our programs, graduate from high school, they're on to get a post-secondary education, and sometimes they even need our help beyond that. And we also have programs for that, for young adult cancer survivors as well. And so it really makes sure that, we really dislike it when we hear that somebody has fallen between the cracks, because we want to know and understand that they don't need to, that we could be there. All they need to do is pick up the phone, type an email, get in touch with us, find out what we can do to help them along the way. We'll onboard that family. We'll fill their freezer full of food when they're first diagnosed. We'll make sure that that the other kids in the house are well looked after with other ideas of taking up some pretty darn lonely hours. But just make sure you contact us. And whether that's to give us a check, to volunteer, to help us out in any way, you just need to ask us and we'll let you know.
That's great. One of the highlights of our Give Back campaigns was Team Tundra coming to Camp Kindle for the scavenger hunt. Now, I didn't know what to expect. I had never been to Camp Kindle before, and the entire Tundra team got together. We raised some money. We came out and had a blast. There was obstacle courses, archery, challenges, and it was a full-on, I felt like I was on a TV show. Like, it was amazing. And I had a blast, and everybody did. And that's what you go there and you see the joy that is facilitated at that location, and it really does make you want to do more. Everybody left that day feeling great. They had fun and raised money for a great cause and can see what is actually happening with the money that they're raising. It's not to, I mean, there's so many different causes out there. You know, you can donate to the Red Cross and, you know, you might, it's a great cause, but you don't get to see the boots on the ground impact. And this is what's so amazing about Kids Cancer Care, is that you're a local, you're Alberta based, you're helping Alberta families, right? And that's so, so important. One thing I'm curious, just on the Camp Kindle front, obviously we used to be able to do all those fun things. How has Camp Kindle changed, and what does it look like given these times?
Well, that's a great question, Eric. Camp Kindle is very quiet right now, except for we have turned it into Glamp Kindle. So every 3 days, we have a new family, 2 new families come out. They're very, very physically distanced, one in the ranch house and one in the Periton Lodge, and they're probably about 500 meters apart. And they'll come out for 3 nights and bring out their own bedding and their own food, and these places are completely stocked with all of the domestic type of things that they need to cook and the activities that they need to play with. That's the most important thing, that they get to come together, be a family, be in a safe place. They're all sanitized in between each visits, and they get to go on hikes, play in the pool when it's warmer. And they've got a barbecue and a campfire, and they've got hikes and activities and everything already made up and put in Camp in a Box for them. So they come out there, they still get to experience Glamp Kindle in a very different way. Now, don't get me wrong, I can't wait until we're back full at Camp Kindle, because that's really where the magic happens, where the kids have got to meet other kids. Parents at family camps and so forth, they get to meet other families that are going through the very same thing as them. And boy, I can't wait till the day that we get to do that again. And I know the whole world is feeling like that, but I think when you've got a child with cancer and you're going through, you're right in the middle of that. Boy, you just need that hope and that support of what happens at camp. It happens in programs in the city, in our Calgary office. We're set up to do what the group called the Kick-Ass Oncologists. They get together in our breakthrough lab area at the office every month, and they get to be together. But right now they can't. They really want this to end. They really want to be able to learn from and lean on each other again, and maybe have a glass of wine and just laugh and cry and play some silly games and be normal again. That's probably the number one thing. The world is crying to be normal again. Our families have always wanted to be normal again. They just wanted to see the real normal thing of their child being able to go to school on their own. Heck, just to go to school, to be able to have a week or a month or a year that they don't have to go and visit the hospital anymore, that they don't need shots and central line accesses and MRIs and CT scans and diagnostic imaging of any kind, that they don't have to worry and wait for the next test result to come back. They want to be normal again. And that's what we provide, just a normal activity-based organization with families who are in anything but a normal situation. So that's what we have. We provide hope and we provide normalcy. And boy, if one thing COVID's taught us, it's the need and want to be normal again.
Isn't that the truth? And how amazing is it that other families can connect with other families that are going through similar challenges, and everyone feels stronger when we're together. And I've noticed, just from a culture perspective inside Tundra, It has done wonders. I've seen our employees rally behind these causes, whether it's our Stampede fundraiser, going out and helping at clean up Camp Kindle, chopping out some deadfall, getting some vitamin D, enjoying the beautiful sun. And it is phenomenal. Everybody loves it. And what an amazing way to build strong connections with your fellow colleagues and take time during work hours to go do something good. I've seen it. I've seen it with the folks here at Tundra. It gives this renewed vibrance to their job. They feel like they're involved. They're doing things to help. And I can't recommend enough that other business leaders take on a give back initiative. And I cannot recommend Kids Cancer Care Foundation anymore. And that is actually the challenge that I would like to issue. If you are a business leader, or if you are an employee in a business that doesn't currently give back to some sort of charity, reach out, get in touch with Christine, because this will not only work wonders for the kids, the families, and everyone involved, but your employees and your entire organization. It's completely game-changing, and that is what I will say, because I've seen it firsthand. So Christine, for those who do want to reach out and are interested in helping, donating, or getting their corporation involved in supporting Kids Cancer Care Foundation, how do they do that?
Oh, very easy. One warning first, before I tell you, is be prepared to never be the same again. Whether you get to see and meet the kids at Camp Kindle or in any one of our programs, you will never be the same again. So you have to be up to that challenge. But doing that challenge is probably the easiest call you'll ever make. You can reach out to us by email, staff@kidscancercare.ab.ca, and we'll direct your email and whatever you want to help us out with to the right person. Very small, very mighty team will help you out with that request. And we'll make sure that whoever you want to talk to, or whatever you want to pose to us, we're up to that challenge, and we're going to get back to you as quickly as we possibly can. What you've described, Eric, the Kindle Care Days, is a special time that we reserve only for people that help us out with the fundraiser. So in order to be one of those very special companies that get to come out to Camp Kindle and do a team building there by helping us take care of Camp Kindle, of course, you've got to be one of our partners. And again,
Get on it.
It's probably the best thing you're ever going to do.
And that's the best excuse I've heard all day. Which is amazing. And it really is a slice of heaven. I've never seen a property like that. I really haven't. Not only the facilities, but it's gorgeous, right in the foothills, right by the mountains. Unbelievable. So highly, highly, highly recommend getting involved in any way that you can. If you have great fundraising ideas, let us know, because we'll want to get involved as well. So please reach out. And Christine, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to share your story and being such an inspiration. I know for me, and I'm sure everyone watching this has taken away, if nothing else, a sense of inspiration to work when it seems like the obstacles are always stacked against you, to keep pushing through in the name of serving other people. That's incredible.
There's nothing like it, Eric. Absolutely.
Well, thank you again so much. And I cannot wait to see you at Camp Kindle, because I know we have our care day scheduled. And as soon as that email went up, everybody wants to get in on it. So get ready for a big Tundra crew.
We're ready for you.
Fantastic. All right, Christine, have a wonderful day, and thank you again, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, Eric.
Oh, that was great. That was so good.
That was fun.
That was great. Really good.